Hi and welcome to Goddess 1207. I'm Linda and I'm so glad that you're taking the time to watch this little video today about what I learned or got confused about at a recent class at the Whole Foods Market. Around here, some of us call that the whole paycheck market, which got me to thinking of what other nicknames we had for stores that have come and gone or places, and I came up with a little list that, of course, we used to have monkey wards, if you know monkey wards, and we of course had needless markup, and everybody has Jacques Panier and Le Target. My daughter, who loves to go to Red Lobster, which is not my favorite place, we couldn't talk about it without her listening because she would figure it out. And so we made a nickname for the Red Lobster. It is now called the Ruby Crustacean. But now she understands the Ruby Crustacean part, so I'm lost. And then whenever I get something in the mail, there's this one catalog called the Boston Proper. And we call it the Boston Eye Popper, because if you saw some of the pictures, there's sometimes not enough fabric to cover up some body parts. That's the Boston Eye Popper. And then, of course, when I get something from the mail from the AAR people, I just call it that crap stuff. That crap stuff came in the mail again because I'm having difficulty dealing with the AARP. And the last one on my list was the Dillard's or the Joske's, which is a department store. That's always my whole life been, for some reason, the store we love to hate. I don't know why, because they have good stuff, but it's just the store we love to hate. Okay, well, moving on. We went, my neighbor and I, Miss Martha, the mayor. We went to this little class at the Whole Foods, and what's called Trash Talk Facial Care. Now, I don't think of myself as a real natural cosmetics or skincare or body care person, but I might be leaning that direction because I figure if I can get the same type of product that doesn't have chemicals in it, then why not? So I'm not advocating that you do this, and I'm certainly not saying that I am a chemist, nor do I even really understand everything that I was told, but I did take notes and I thought I would share them with you. Well, the first thing is they gave us a whole great big bag of goodies, and I will go through those at the end. A couple of them I've already used, and they're so far so good. But one of the things that they gave us was this lovely handout from this place called My Shell Dermaceuticals. I'll have all this information at the bottom. And it has a lovely chart of chemicals and what they do and why you really don't want them in your body. Of course, at Whole Foods, they are trying to sell their products. I understand that. So these things, I assume, would not have to be purchased there, but I was interested in brands. So we'll talk about brands and chemicals and dupes and whatever else comes to my mind, if my mind is still here. Okay, so forgive my pronunciation of some of these chemicals. When I was in college, way back in the dark ages, I took chemistry for liberal arts majors. That meant chemistry for dodo birds who are not going to be chemists. I do remember that this was a religious affiliated university. We did learn how to make bourbon, and we saw a film about Jack Daniels, which I thought was kind of interesting, but I'm still not making any Jack Daniels in the bathtub, but I'll try to pronounce these chemicals. The first one she talked about is phthalates, phthalates. It's found in hairspray and perfume, a holding agent, and it could be in the fragrance. One thing that our teacher, who was a chemist, a master's in chemistry, told us that the word fragrance can cover so many different things that you have no idea what's in there with fragrance. She said we should avoid the phthalates. If you know how to pronounce it, please give me a clue. Then she talked about all the parabens, which are preservatives. you know, your friends methyl, propyl, butyl, isobutyl, isopropyl, poly, benzyl, phenyl, calcium, potassium, icodecyl, sodium. And she suggested instead of parabens to look for vitamin E. And then the biggie that's in everything, deodorant, shampoo, lotion, sunscreen, moisture attractant, is propylene glycol. And yes, even in your beloved Bioderma, propylene glycol, as well as PEG. If you see PEG, that's the same thing as propylene glycol. PEG followed by a number. So it's in there. Propylene glycol. She says use lecithin or panthenol. And she said, which something I didn't know, and I am sort of a dumb cluck sometimes, that you should not leave your plastic water bottle in the car overnight or to heat up during the day, which of course is exactly what I do, is I feel so good that I'm drinking water. But come to find out, the bad stuff in the plastic is just cooking, and so you shouldn't do that. So we'll see if I can do that. And then she talked about the sulfates, which would be called SLS or SLES. They're in toothpaste and shampoo. They're foaming agents. She said, think stripper. Well, that's not exactly what I thought first, but anyway, like Tide. So it's like putting Tide, like a detergent. Yuck. Anyway, she said instead use coconut oil and look for SLS free or xylitol, which is spelled XYLITOL, xylitol. And guess what? In my little product assortment over here, those chemicals are in those things. Okay, moving on. The next one, there are only 7, this is number 5, is urea. Urea is a tightener and it releases formaldehyde. And I guess you know what it's from. Yes, it's from urine. So if you want to put urine, the only thing I've ever heard good about urine is to pee on yourself in the shower, and it will help prevent athlete's foot. But whatever. So she says use amino acids or fruit extracts instead of anything that has urea in it. Number 6 was triclosan is an antibacterial. It's found in soap and makeup. So it's like just putting soap on yourself. So you want to avoid the triclosan. And the last one was PABA or EDTA, which are sunscreens. And she said if you need a sunscreen, that you really need to put it on repeatedly. You know, I feel so comfortable putting my SPF 40 or 50, whatever, in the morning when I put my makeup on, but according to the chemist, it's not going to last. You need to reapply, reapply, and reapply, which of course is totally impractical, and I won't be doing that. But it does make me a little more aware that late in the afternoon, if it's been all day, I might need to do the dreaded wash it everything off and put it all back on and include more sunscreen. I don't know. Let's see, she says that everything that's sold at Whole Foods has to go through a very rigorous process to be approved. They have to be clean and they have to stay clean. And so if anything you buy at Whole Foods should be fine. But of course she encouraged us to talk to somebody and ask questions about things. And then she mentioned several brands that were clean, and I will list them, but they include Acure, Michelle Dermaceuticals, which is where this literature came from, Himalaya, Evan Healy, and Badger sunscreen. Things made by Badger. It is made out of zinc oxide. She said you could use pure zinc oxide, but you might look like that, what do you call those guys on the beach? You call those guys a lifeguard. You might look like a lifeguard, you know, from the 70s. You remember that, all that totally white nose? But she claims if you rub it in long enough, it will not look so 70s, so Farrah Fawcett. And another brand that she likes is Suki, S-U-K-I, but Whole Foods is not selling it anymore, apparently because of some sort of business relationship problem and not a product problem. So she said that Suki was still good. Okay, so I got a whole bunch of samples from all these things, and I have used a few of them, and I will show pictures of things, but this thing is hair care by Giovanni, and I used it this morning, and it did a great job, I think, on washing. The product, the Stay Put in Place product, is probably wilting a little bit now, so it might not be as strong as some of my what do you call that stuff? My panthenol or isopropyl butyl hexamethorphan. So I got a bunch of those samples, and I got a bunch of things from Desert Essence. This was natural shea butter body cream, and it's great. It's fine. The scent is fine. It's very light, and this, of course, has 80,000 ingredients, but many of the ingredients sound like a chemical, but they're actually from sort of a plant. So, for example, it says Parthamus tinctorius, which is safflower. So maybe my Latin will improve, but I like Desert Essence, and there are a whole bunch of samples from them that I will be trying out, and I will let you know. And then a bunch of argan oil samples from a brand called Acure, A-C-U-R-E, 100% organic. And more of this hair care by Giovanni. So, I'm not saying I'm going to become totally green. I have a lot of makeup that I love that I'm sure has icky things in it, but beautiful things too, and I certainly want to use them. But I have made a list of where I thought I might try out to be a little more green. Would be, for example, with toothpaste or deodorant or shampoo or hand soap, laundry detergent. I might get my husband, Mr. Wonderful, to use some shaving cream that is a little nicer to the environment. He's probably the only man left alive that uses some material on his hair and then combs it in place so it stays. I call it lighter fluid because that's what it is. You can imagine that stuff, it's going to blow his head off. So maybe I could get him steered towards something a little bit more natural. I don't know. Anyway, I have a feeling this is more information that you wanted. It's probably very confusing. What I'm going to do from this point forward is to shop a little slower in the whole paycheck store and look at the things and ask some questions, and as I need to buy a new product, I might look at that first. I figure if I can get my hair clean with less chemicals, then, you know, why not? But as I say, if you start looking at the ingredients in the products that you love, you're going to find some very questionable and interesting things, especially big box products. That's another thing I'm trying to do, is steer myself a little towards smaller companies that are not big conglomerations and help out the little guy. Even the Caritas, I should learn how to say that. It has, I think it has some icky stuff in it. The first ingredient is alcohol, and then hydrofluorocarbon 152, and some copolymers. I can't say all these things, but then when you get to the end and it says fragrance, that could be anything. Again, not to say that a product doesn't work, and I actually like the product, but if I could find a hairspray that would do the same thing, I might try it. So next time you're shopping and doing a little comparison, just turn that sucker over, get out your glasses like I would have to, and check out what the ingredients are. Maybe it'll make a difference to you, maybe it won't. Maybe you're allergic to a fragrance, maybe you're not. But somebody is forcing these people to list all these things, and maybe it's for our own interest or protection, so maybe we should pay attention. I urge you, if you are interested in green products, that you do your own research and don't trust anything that I have said, because I'm just a consumer, just learning about it, and I probably know enough just to get myself in trouble with someone who does know something about it. So if you have an interest, please check it out for yourself. So, I hope you've enjoyed our Talking Trash. I did take these notes. If you have any interest in receiving a copy of these notes, or just email me, leave me a message, and I'll send them to you. Also, you could probably find this particular chart on the My Shell Dermaceuticals. I'll list everybody's webpage below. Even has a list of vegetarian and vegan products. And you could go do your own research. Okay, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.